Have you ever felt this? You've got these massive, awesome dreams, but when it's time to actually do the work, you just can't. You freeze up. It's like you're at war with yourself. And honestly, it can make you feel totally stuck.
So, to really get a handle on this, let's start with a story. It's about a young kid named Kabir. Super smart, had all the potential in the world, but he had this one huge problem holding him back. And it's a problem I think a lot of us are going to recognize. The solution he found, though? It's way simpler than you might think.
So picture this. Kabir tries to sit down and study, but his mind just goes everywhere. It's like a restless bird, jumping from one thing to the next. He's thinking about video games, what his friends are doing, what's for dinner, literally anything except what's in front of him. And that feeling, that constant distraction, it just left him feeling awful, like he was failing all the time.
And his dad, he saw what was happening. He said something really powerful. He told him, "Son, your mind is like a wild horse. If you don't learn to control it, it's going to drag you wherever it wants to go." And isn't that so true? Our own mind, our biggest asset, can totally become our worst enemy if we don't train it. I'm guessing that sounds pretty familiar to some of you.
So Kabir's parents are at their wits' end. They take him to see this wise old guru, this teacher who's known for helping people get back on track. And the advice the guru gives, it's probably not what they or you would expect. Now, the guru didn't pull out a fancy PowerPoint or recommend a new productivity app. There was no complex theory. He just gave Kabir a super simple but really profound task. Just watch the flame of a candle. That's it. It's an exercise designed to get right to the heart of the problem, something all our modern hacks seem to miss. Okay, so here's the practice. It's brilliantly simple. Light a candle, sit down, and just watch the flame. And here's the key. When your mind wanders, and it will wander, you just gently bring it back. This whole thing shows us something huge about focus. It's not about gritting your teeth and having more willpower. It's a workout. It's literally like a bicep curl for your attention. Every time you bring your focus back to that flame, you're building a muscle in your brain.
And of course, Kabir learns pretty fast that watching the flame isn't the hard part. The real challenge is fighting all the noise inside his own head. Thoughts about food, sounds from outside, worries about what's happening tomorrow, memories from yesterday. It's a constant battle. The candle flame is the goal, but all those thoughts are the distractions trying to blow it out.
This is what the guru meant when he said, "This flame is your goal. Your thoughts are the wind." A weak, untrained mind can't keep that flame steady, but a disciplined one can. And that's the takeaway here, right? Focus isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you have to build, day in and out.
Okay, so that's the parable. Now, let's connect this to the science. Let's really dig into the psychology of why this happens. Why is it that we can feel so ambitious, so full of big ideas, but our actions just don't match up? Why do we act, well, lazy? First thing to know, this is not a personal failure. It's not a flaw in your character. It's literally a war going on inside your brain. You've got one part that dreams big, that wants success, and another part that is hardwired to avoid anything uncomfortable and just seek out what feels good right now. It's an old survival instinct that's just not working for us in the modern world. I mean, check this out. Your brain is basically designed to resist your goals. Why? Well, things like fear of failure and the desire for comfort are incredibly powerful. Your brain sees a big, difficult project and thinks, whoa, danger, discomfort. And so it gives you a nice little shot of dopamine, that feel-good chemical, when you choose to scroll on your phone instead. It's rewarding you for taking the easy way out. And what's crazy is how we build these traps for ourselves. Think about it. Perfectionism? That's just fear wearing a fancy hat. Waiting for motivation to strike? Motivation isn't a strategy. It's a feeling that comes and goes. And my favorite one, endless learning. How many of us say, I just need to watch one more video, and then never actually do the thing? We're just using learning to avoid acting.
Okay, so we get the problem now. We understand the why. But that's only half the battle, right? Now let's talk about the how. How do we actually build the discipline to overcome this? We need a real, practical framework.
This is so important. You have to stop waiting to feel disciplined. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one tiny decision at a time. Shifting your mindset from waiting for a feeling to just taking an action, that is an absolute game changer.
So here are 3 steps to actually rewire your brain. First, and this is crucial, start absurdly small. I mean tiny. Don't plan to work for 2 hours tomorrow. Just do 10 minutes today.
Second, be consistent, not perfect. You're going to miss a day. It happens. That's a slip, not a reason to quit the whole thing. And third, design your environment for success. If your phone is the problem, don't rely on willpower. Just put it in another room. Make your work easier to get to than your distractions.
And let's be real here. When you start this, it's going to feel awful. Your brain is going to throw a tantrum. It's going to come up with every excuse in the book to get you to stop. You have to do it anyway. The secret is acting even when you don't feel like it. That resistance you feel, that's the feeling of the discipline muscle growing. That means it's working.
So what happens when you push through that feeling? What's on the other side? Well, this is where obstacles start to look like opportunities. Let's go back to our stories and see what the real payoff of a disciplined mind looks like. Remember Kabir? All that time staring at a candle flame, it transformed him. He went from being this distracted kid to a national champion. Why? Because that daily practice compounded. It wasn't about one big heroic effort. It was the result of thousands of tiny, disciplined moments that built on each other, day after day.
And that brings us to this great little story, the parable of the rock. You've got a king who puts a huge rock in the road. All the wealthy, important people come by, they complain about it, and they just walk around it. But then a simple peasant comes along. He struggles, he strains, but he finally pushes the rock out of the way. And what does he find underneath? A bag of gold. The lesson is so clear. The obstacle is the opportunity. The reward is waiting for the person willing to do the work, not just complain about it.
And then there's this quote from another story that really hits home. It's about a jeweler who haggles over a few cents and misses out on buying a priceless diamond. The line is, "The real fool is you who lost a precious diamond for just 20 rupees." It's such a powerful reminder that inaction has a cost. Overthinking, hesitating, it costs you opportunities. It makes you wonder, right? What diamonds are we missing because we're too busy haggling with our own excuses?
So let's just boil this all down. What are the key takeaways? First, your focus is a muscle. You have to train it daily. Second, the real opposite of success isn't failure. It's doing nothing. It's inaction. So you have to start before you feel ready. And finally, remember that every obstacle in your way is actually an opportunity in disguise. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the one rock in your path right now? You know what it is. The one thing you keep complaining about, the one thing you keep walking around. What would happen if you stopped complaining and just started pushing? Because that's where the gold is. Your next chapter begins the moment you decide to move that rock.